Here we are back at the Dundas Square protest. They are speaking. A number of good speakers are up explaining a little bit about the rationale for the protest. And frankly, this is what a protest looks like. We're at the edges right now. I'm going to start walking through it. You can hear the speaker in the background, a lot of Canadian flags. It's kind of dull out today. That explains the flat of the camera. And we're just walking around the edges right now. Looks like about 1,000 people here.
A contribution.
People from various countries then submitted the same request to institutions around the world.
Oops.
Michael S. in New Zealand has been especially active.
Okay.
People started also alerting me to other FOI responses that were posted online. It became a crowdsourced project.
Like I said, about 1,000 people here all together. A lot of people videotaping today. I call it videotaping because I'm old enough to remember videotape. I think the intent is to get the word out, to tell people what's actually going on, so we don't have to get our information on what's happening from the legacy news, which mostly isn't here. And sometime later on today, they're probably going to write a report explaining that, 50, 60 people were in Dundas Square. And they were all crazy people. Some of these people don't look crazy, particularly that person over there. Hello again. And we've just sort of walked around the edge of the parade right now, or the protest. We're going to try and get out front of it.
UK Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, Public Health Scotland, Public Health Wales, Public Health England, and...
It's about an hour before the protest march starts up the street. I'll also have a video on that. Usually more people will show up between now and then. But I would say right now, based on what we're looking at, about 1,000 people.
Even one patient anywhere in the world. We also have a communication from the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which is Anthony Fauci's institute, indicating that the electron microscope images that they've published did not involve isolation of any virus. In other words, public health officials have zero evidence to support their story of a COVID-19 virus, let alone a COVID-19 pandemic.
As you can tell, there's not a lot of police around here. Oops, sorry. More signs pointing toward the streets right now. The idea is that the protesters are hoping to get people driving by, and there are a lot of them. The protesters are hoping to get them to honk their horn to show their support.
I've heard about the so-called COVID-19 vaccines that governments want to force upon us.
We are behind the protest right now. You can see it's quite a large crowd.
What's being passed of SARS-CoV-2 isolate and used to develop those vaccines is not purified virus. It's not proven to contain any SARS-CoV-2 virus because it's an imaginary virus. Instead, it's a man-made concoction derived from patient samples mixed with fetal bovine serum, monkey kidney cells, and toxic drugs. Why would anyone
few police on the right doing traffic control.
And isn't it interesting, the public health officials who are so adept at isolating their victims have no interest in isolation of their alleged virus. Imagine if you were told to self-isolate and responded to inviting all your friends and family over. Maybe that's how we should respond if we're told to self-isolate.
We're right behind the stage right now.
I can tell protest has nothing to do with public health. It's merely a cover story used to justify the implementation of a very dark globalist agenda. Thank you to the organizers for the great event, for everyone who's resisting global COVID-19 fraud and the twisted agenda behind it in whatever way you can. Thank you to Rockville and Ringo.
More people with signs pointing towards the road.
We will expose widespread fraud and corruption and shine the light of truth like never before. Because the truth will set us free.
Another. Now I'm gonna try and climb up the gantry so I can get a big picture of the people in the distance. I have no idea what that'll do to the camera angle, but I do want to see if I can get a shot at it because I'm a crazy person.
I am so blessed and honored to be up here to facilitate through the fact the Line Canada, Hugs Over Masks, Mothers Against Distancing.
Lamont Daigle is speaking right now, and you can see the crowds in the distance. There certainly is a lot of people here today. I'm going to see if I can get a little higher.
Here on this podium truck, because we are the people and we're not fancy, we're doing our best out here. Are you with me? Yes, yes, yes.
If I fall to my doom today, I'll die happy.
Freedom!
Yeah.
Freedom! You know, folks, no matter how tired we get or behind schedule, there's always time to chant a little freedom, you know what I'm saying? Liberté! Liberté! We're just warming up for the march, right? So guys, just past, we did a little test with a little pots and pans protest up the street there at Queen's Park earlier this week, and it was a great success. So thank you to the organizers of that for sure. Put your hands together for helping out, right? Now what we're gonna do is this. This Wednesday, we want these crowds out there, in addition to even more people, to have the biggest pots and pans protest in any history at Queen's Park this Saturday. No. Not yet for that Saturday. This Wednesday coming up.
There's Lamont. We could just barely see him in the distance.
We have to keep the pressure on these sitting politicians. Today, this is for the people of Toronto. Wednesday is for the politicians to get off their fat asses. We are practicing for more action to ensure the politicians never forget that we're the ones who have brought them to power. But that power has been misused long enough. They're not listening to us enough, but I'll tell you, we're going to have to keep reminding them of this action. What do you guys think? Are we going to be there next Wednesday at 11 o'clock? Yes, we are. We're going to have these signs all
Looks like a
over the
bubble
place.
machine in the distance, creating a festive atmosphere.
Absolutely. We'll have our speeches after we get there 11 o'clock. We'll start with a little bit of noise. We'll start some speeches before we head into the Toronto streets. Send a message to John Tory and Doug Ford at City Hall, and then return to Queen's Park for some more noise, and we'll be done by 4 p.m. Are you guys with me or what? Man, oh man, am I ever excited about this crazy stuff. Oh, thanks, brother. Thank you. It's always nice to know you guys have my back. Literally, have my back. Now, there's a gentleman in a community, we call them a flock, Church of God, people that have come all the way from Elmer, Ontario to give you some love today. How would you like to hear a little bit from the Church of God? And Pastor Henry Hildebrand here today.
Pastor Hildebrand is one of the organizers of these events. He was fined by local police earlier in the week for another event he put on. He is the pastor of a church in Elmer, Ontario.
What a sad week for Canada. What a sad week for our God-given freedom enshrined in our Constitution. As the sound of the national anthem rings out, tears well up in our eyes, shocked to see what we see. Today it's the owner of a beautiful barbecue place that is dragged to jail. Officers, what was the crime? This small business owner is selling brisket, trying to support his precious wife and 2 little children. Tomorrow is the pastor of a beautiful country church being handcuffed. Officers, what was the crime? This pastor refused to shut down the church in order to prevent his congregation from gathering to hear the word of God. The day after tomorrow, it is you. It is you that will be arrested in your own home. Officers,
The cars have noticed what's going on. They're honking their support.
tomorrow it will be you, arrested in your own home. Officers, what will be the crime? This person refuses to subject their children to the local health unit for the greater good of the population. This is reality in 2020. This week.
Gonna climb down off the scaffold right now. Hopefully I won't kill myself. I've been very lucky so far.
Dark hours of the evening, by 4 vehicles pulling up to his home. He was charged $1,296 for attending a peaceful protest, and another
There we go. I'm on the ground now. That was actually easier than I thought.
another one $2,096 for attending a church service.
Minister is still doing his thing.
Is this Canada? What is going on? The following day, look at this. The following day, his church was charged $5,000 for having church on Sunday. Here's an original copy of the ticket. Listen,